You are me. Simply Youth Ministry Podcast with Doug Fields and friends.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Game over, man.
What's your fight with you, bud? We're all here.
Hey, everybody. Doug Fields with
It's been a while since...
Josh.
Yeah.
Is your
I
name?
wish
You can call
somebody
me
could do a
Josh.
remix out of your "Hey everybody." That would be really awesome.
Oh,
I
I
bet somebody
agree.
would.
Do it.
All right.
Do it.
We'll give Andy will give lots of stuff away.
To the person who comes up with the best.
We
I
do
didn't
have
hear it.
we do
But
have
it doesn't. It can't suck though. It's got to
okay,
be
we've
awesome.
got jingles on the front end and the back end.
Horrible
We're
jingles.
They're not horrible. They were award winning.
He's just
Award-winning.
bent because his aren't used anymore.
Exactly.
Jana's
little
here
jealous.
and Matt is here. We're back. We decided this is episode 60.
Yep.
And it has been
Did
1
we
month.
decide that, or did somebody else decide? That's the truth.
The numbers
we
decided
realized.
to-
Yeah, we identified the truth that this is episode
Kind of like
60.
the process of canonization. You don't make it scripture. You just
Canonization?
yes.
Oh, very good.
Okay.
Aren't
Welcome
you
to
in
the show,
seminary?
everybody.
Well, it's the way he said it. It sounded like there was a D in there.
Well, I thought it was
I
Canada.
probably did.
I was like, Canada? What?
Canonization. Yeah.
Canon.
Canon.
Look, a show.
I don't even know if canonization is
Hey.
a word.
So we had fires.
Should
We've
be.
had all kinds
Yeah,
of things.
California
Matt's,
burned
Matt's
down.
the future of the church.
Yes.
We got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff happening. We were at the San Diego Youth Specialties Conference. Then we went to the. We just got back from
St.
St.
Louis.
Louis. And it was an amazing thing, like I would say in my sessions. Anybody listen to the podcast, and they wouldn't just raise their hand, would they, Andy?
Emphatic.
They would cheer.
Oh.
In your sessions
They
or in
would
the main
cheer.
session? Did you say?
No,
that?
I didn't say it in the main
Yeah,
session.
don't dare say
Don't
it
do
there.
that.
No, but I was surprised.
Other people are promoting, aren't they?
Well, it's so. I mean, because you guys, the number one question people ask is, do you guys
Why is
really?
that awesome?
How do you guys pronounce such a great show?
No, but 0 for 2. Jana, you want to throw one out there?
No, I can't even guess what
anybody
why
cover my
people
zit?
are thinking.
Wait, we're 2 minutes into the show. We're already talking about our zit.
Hey,
We were
you
gonna take-
guys,
right?
I have a bad
Should
day.
we zoom in on that?
I think we should.
we
It's
were going to
pretty
take
bad.
before the show. Christmas is coming up. We were going to take a podcast Christmas
goodness.
photo,
Yeah.
and Jana has 3 reindeer on her forehead.
She's got Rudolph. the
Nobody
Red-Nosed
warned
Reindeer.
me about
Red
Christmas
forehead, I love it.
pictures.
So we said, let's do one next week.
I don't know if you remember this, but
wow.
when she interviewed at Saddleback,
Oh, brother.
I remember I was out talking to her on the phone. I was like, "Hey, so how did all your interviews go?" And the first thing she said,
No
was,
way.
Yeah,
No
it was like
way.
it was.
He
they
has
went
a-
good, but I got a zit sometime during the day, and I just
during the interview.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doug grilled me
right.
so hard. I just.
Yeah.
you don't remember that?
Tough guy.
No, you don't
Anyway.
remember that either. You
I
were
totally do.
crazy.
For those of you watching on video, you can see
Because that was the first time I've ever heard of somebody getting a zit in the day.
somebody
usually
somebody
at
has
night.
cooked us a bunch
Oh,
of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Speaking-
Gary Curry sent us a box of baked goods.
And I would like to have curry cookies.
I don't, yeah.
Thank you, Gary. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Red
You,
or
Matt,
green.
that's the only way we can get Matt here. There's a lot of reasons we have been meeting. Most of it's because of Matt. But what I was saying is, when I was at the Youth Specialties Conference in St. Louis, the number one question people ask is, do you guys really just sit down and turn on the camera? Is that how you guys really are with one another? And then the response is, it just seems like you have so much fun.
Well,
When we've said,
it's true. We have
So
no
we
idea what's
really
in your
fool
pile.
them.
It's fun for you three. It's kind of torture for me.
Now, why is this torture, Janet? Come on. Talk
Yeah,
about
come
why this
on.
is torture.
No, it's okay.
Is
I'm
it because you
enjoying-
made
not
fun of the
productive enough
podcast
for her.
for so long?
It's not what?
Productive
Productive
enough.
enough. There's a little truth to
It's
that.
really
probably.
productive. What are you talking about?
I feel bad for people. I have a little bit of heart for the other people that are listening.
It's
to this.
voluntary.
I feel
they
bad
don't have
for-
to listen.
It's true.
Doug also took up smoking
Smoking.
while
Man.
that's been with you for a while. You probably should get it checked
I
out.
actually going to the doctor's tomorrow.
Honestly.
You
Promise.
should go straight to
Nice.
tracheotomy.
It is.
opinion.
It was.
Yeah.
It was like what do you call bronchitis plus when
Yeah, it's
the fires were here. People
Oh,
that
yeah.
weren't from this area. I mean, everybody saw the fires.
Yeah.
But the,
Are you about to complain about the smoke?
let's talk about the difficulty in breathing, dude. Come on. There's people in our office
I wasn't evacuated, so
With masks.
wearing
Yeah,
masks.
inside even.
which
yeah.
was so lame. I just gotta say.
Yeah. But it was. The air quality was
you're
pretty terrible.
burping in my mouth. You told me I wasn't allowed to burp on this
What?
thing.
I didn't.
And
it
now
was
you
silent,
burp and
man. It was
Oh, we
silent.
can do silent
It was his
burp?
cough. It was his cough.
You're burping in my mouth.
Anyway,
So
He
your
burped
house,
literally
your
in my
house
mouth.
almost burned down.
it didn't almost
Wow,
burn down.
yeah.
There was about 700 yards away.
That's pretty close. Those are
But right
those
up
are
to our
real-
development, that's
yeah.
for sure.
Josh and I had helicopters about 10 feet over our
Yeah,
house.
it was
It's an
water is
interesting
falling on our
deal.
You and
house.
Josh are in the same house?
Same neighborhood.
Our houses.
So I'm watching on television, the planes come and drop water, and then they would circle around, and I would just turn my neck and look out the back window of my house, and there was that same
And
plane.
there they are.
And then it
Going
would
into your house.
drop water.
Going to our neighborhood,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a little reservoir behind you where you guys live.
It was
Anyway,
crazy.
Our neighborhood actually had a protective dome over it, and we had just clean air the whole
A
time.
bubble shield
that would
just right
surprise
over the
me
top.
in the-
Because the
in
Lord's
rich
there, is that
world
why?
you live
you're-
in.
The
Yeah.
rich world that I live
They
in.
have pure air.
We need to talk sometime
Pure air
about
filtered.
About your
the
backyard.
McGill Money Show.
Wait, oh my goodness, this is gonna be good.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, here is a podcast.
Dot. And on to the question.
Sometime we'll talk about it.
Yeah, not
Here-
today.
Well, it's you just married into money. We can say
I
that.
didn't marry into money.
He married into
What?
love.
Did your
Wait.
mother-in-law,
married into
did your
love.
mother-in-law listen to the show?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, but I wouldn't
Let's
say
be
anything that
honest.
she could. I mean, I doubt she does. I'll say that.
Let's be honest,
But
no,
I wouldn't
but
say anything
Andy, no.
here that I wouldn't say to her face.
I know. I'm just, but
Yeah, and so does she know that all my friends think that I've married into money? No, hopefully not.
Okay.
But
all right.
We didn't say you married for money. We
Yeah,
just said
that's
you
a-
married
right,
into
you
money.
married for love, but you got a lot of money.
well, where is it?
Oh,
I thought
that's
when
funny.
you married into money, you had money.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't
Well, you
marry
will
money.
someday. Why do you
Okay.
think we're staying your friends?
Exactly. Bubble
I'm so
shields. Here we go.
smart.
This is from our buddy Mike Levito at Magnolia Avenue Baptist Church. He says, "Remember
Oh my
when you
gosh.
guys used to
Wait,
do a
wait,
He was an
podcast?"
intern, and you
Mike
said his
Lovato.
name wrong.
What did I say? Levito?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Lovato. I
But
know.
he was an
That
intern,
was a-
everybody.
that was a Freudian libido slip.
Should we start over?
Edit.
What's a libido? It's not a
10
bad
minutes into
word.
the show,
No,
we've
it's
said
just-
nothing of value.
It
10
doesn't-
minutes
But
in.
you know what? That's what people told me that they enjoyed.
They-
was your lack of value.
11 minutes now. Here we go.
No, Mike
Let's pray.
Lavato.
Let's pray.
A
Everybody
former,
lay down.
A former intern at Saddleback
Yes.
for 2 years. That Jana is the director of this world-class internship.
Mike
Which,
Levito?
by the way,
How do you define
I've never even
world
told you
class?
this, is when I was in San Diego in the Youth Specialties notebook, I saw the ad in there, full-page
Yeah.
ad. It was excellent.
World
Thank you very
class.
much, Sardi Design.
Was that what it was?
It was.
Dot
but
com.
Thank
Plug.
you.
Plug.
Thank you.
Andy, people
Yeah.
beat you to the plug.
Yeah.
Sorry,
An intern
Andy.
plug and a Sardi design plug.
Sorry. You're
Did
next.
you ever
you're next.
notice that Saddleback Church was on the same line? Because Jana was hawked over her husband's shoulder, giving him the minutest of feedback that I prayed for
Details
him.
are my thing.
That's-
Yes,
yes.
yes.
I prayed for him.
Mike Lovato, which
Libido.
A good friend of ours.
Mike is a good friend of, and
Roboto.
he's a great guy and a great youth worker. Remember when you guys used to do a podcast? That was fun.
We're back now. Every week.
We
The
are.
show's
That's
not
good.
monthly.
Mike.
It's
but
weekly, give or
should
take.
Should we kind of go public on how this podcast, the timing of it? Here, let me give
You
you
gotta
how
be
I.
careful when you say, "Should we go public on?"
Well, let me just go
So I can
how
think of lots
how
of
I
things.
envision this. Maybe my reality is different, but
Maybe.
I will shoot an email or Josh will shoot an email. Podcast this week, and then one of us suggests a time.
Yep.
And
It's the most
Jana chimes in and says, "I can do that." And then about a day later, once Mr. Future of the
Future of
Church
the world.
kicks
Yes.
into his email, writes back and says, "Can't do it that day."
Sorry.
So
really
we're all
important.
ready to go. We've got Andy ready, Chris ready, the whole deal's, and then we shoot another date. It might be pretty accurate.
Well, here's the
Can't
problem.
do it.
About 2 months ago, we all stacked hands and said Wednesday, 3:00.
Okay.
Matt sent around the calendar. It was on our calendar. And
then
somehow-
somebody who's got their own reality, maybe I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Has it been my fault?
Unbelievable.
only
Let's
when
be
we-
honest.
It's
I'll
only when,
own it if it's been my fault that we haven't met in 4 weeks.
Oh, I don't know whose fault it's been.
Yours.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, it could be my fault because I don't care.
Jeff Smith.
Fault falls off my
All
back.
right.
Jeff Smith says,
my God.
where are you? What are you doing? You only
Water.
work 1 day a week like the rest of us, or so I've heard. What's the deal? Where's the podcast?
Yay.
Got a bunch of these. We're back.
Sorry. Here we
We're
are.
here.
Enjoy.
Gosh.
This is from Brian Ferry, and I gotta let you know, Brian Ferry.
I know his
That's
name.
a funny name.
I read a bunch of these emails that
Magical.
Josh
Yeah.
printed out and put
Yeah.
on my chair.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Which, by the way,
Thank you.
can you get a toner change?
But yeah, Josh.
If it's not, I printed them on Tuesday.
Josh, let me just pause and let's talk about this task, because maybe there's
you
a
take the
leadership.
toner out
Maybe
and you
there's a
shake it
leadership
around.
principle,
And then you
It
put it
doesn't
back
work
in.
like that anymore.
and
Let's see if we
leadership
can get some-
principle that everybody can learn from.
Yes.
Because usually I don't get them. Strike one. When I have been getting them, they've been in Adam Ant print. And then now, strike two.
That's
And
making
now,
Now they're on time. They're font size correct.
well,
and they're
there
a
was-
really light gray that I thought you might enjoy.
yeah, with,
But there's only one printer in our whole office, so to Josh's defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And also, but there is one strike though. He could just forward them to you, and you could print them at
That's
your
true.
own convenience.
That's
Well,
Yeah, I could do that.
yeah, I'd rather not.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no way.
That's what I,
I mean,
want.
you
more,
print
more
plenty of other
emails.
stuff.
More emails in my inbox.
Yeah.
And there were a whole bunch since we had taken off a little while to do the
10.
show. There was almost
Just
25, 30 emails. So I don't know. It was a mountain.
Well, I've got a stack of them ready to go.
But the point is, we're back. And if I printed them off normally, where would be the fun in that?
that's
so
true. That's true. It's part of a bit.
Yeah. And next week it's going to be yellow paper.
All right.
Yeah.
So he says, I don't know the first thing about the World of Warcraft, which that's one of the reasons I like this guy, but I crack up laughing at McGill's expense every time that Toyota Tundra commercial comes on where the character uses the truck.
funny.
I can swear that's Matt's voice. So is it?
Matt, did you do the voiceover for the Tacoma?
No.
It's really funny though.
It would be. I wish I did.
Have you seen the commercial
Then
too?
maybe
No,
I would
I
have.
don't know what
I
he's talking
fast
about
forward
either.
through a lot of commercials, but it's a funny.
It is.
It's a truck in World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
It's funny.
The guy uses it. He thinks it's his mount. It's great. Oh.
Yeah.
TiVo's ruined me for commercials.
I know.
'cause-
Well, ruined isn't the right word.
Well,
Made your life a better.
Dan Barber from Sunrise Community Church. I read your email.
Good morning.
But I'm not going to read it out loud, but I
Dan-
chuckled when I read it. Jason
And we didn't.
Domingo.
I would like to read the email. I won't read it out loud.
Okay, well, I got it right over there.
Can
And
you
actually,
give me, Josh?
you were the essence of it. No, we'll get it
I'm gonna
after.
just stretch right now.
'Cause
No, I'm good.
Matt will comment it.
I promise I won't comment.
He says, I have a quick question about Chapter 7 in yours and Duffy's book on speaking to teenagers.
Okay.
I love the idea of making filing a cabinet in your cabinet. and was
The Adam
wondering,
Ant print.
and was wondering, what are the biggies as far as categories that you put your material
It's in
into?
the book.
You use friendship as an example in there, but no others. It's not in the book, Matt. Have
Okay.
you read the book?
Dude, I wrote the book.
jeez.
Oh, I
Nicorette.
think this is your first book
Nicorette,
I
Doug.
can't actually say that on.
Oh.
And that was number 2. No, you got student leadership. All
Unbelievable.
seriousness, I remember how bad I sucked on that book.
On the student
Student
leadership
leadership
on
one. It's
student
legendary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still feel bad about that sometimes.
Well, people don't know what you're talking about. Basically, we went away, and a lot of times after I would write a book, you would read a chapter and comment on it, and push back, and this is dumb, and add in a phrase, or I could say, would you expand on that?
I don't say this is dumb that often.
No, but we went away to finish that book. You were working on other stuff, and I said, Matt, why don't you read this and give it to me chapter by chapter, and you checked your email the whole time, and then I think it was a month later that you quit. Anyway,
That's perfect.
so he
There were
says,
so many historical inaccuracies about that story. That's okay. But essentially, it's true.
Email wasn't even
You'd
invented.
make
then.
horrible scripture.
Did you notice that Doug has a little glitter in his hair today? Do you see that?
Oh,
Look, right here.
Oh.
Seriously, there's glitter there and there. 2
all
spots.
that
well,
glitters
because
is
I
not
took
gold.
Oh, there it is.
photograph for SYM. I put the
Christmas
Santa hat on. or
Yeah,
something.
it's a good look. It
I
makes
can't
you-
see it from here.
Oh, really?
Let me get the hair out.
Very sweet.
So the biggies for filing, Matt. What do you think?
You know what? I say if you just keep everything on your computer, you can use Google Desktop Search, and you're down. Just kidding.
But then you got to scan stuff, everything you find.
No, it wouldn't work that way too. I mean, unless you did.
There's a section in Speaking to Teenagers where I talk about saving material and filing it. I would say that
Topics.
and he's saying, what are the biggies?
You know what we should do is we should open up your files. I know I interrupted. and I'm very sorry.
And that's the first time ever.
No, but it's the first time I've
That
realized.
you've been sorry.
Yeah. Continue.
And write down the list of topics
No,
and
well,
post them.
since I've we should open up your magnets and your
My
filing.
what?
Oh,
I don't know
no.
what just happened.
Please go back.
It was
sounded
like a
I
cabinet, I
said-
hope.
I was trying to say filing cabinets.
And it was
too.
something else.
Fignets.
Figment.
Fignets.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have been gone a long time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Welcome back.
fignets.
So, and photograph it and put that up
Yeah,
on there.
take
You know what we'll
Photograph
do that?
it.
Andy
take
is
some-
helping
just
me
take a
do the
couple steps.
speakingtoteenagers.com, the website, because Duffy and I said we're going to do questions and things like that. But actually, this was the first question on the book that we got, so I'm going to answer this. I'll answer it verbally now, but I'll also do a FAQ and put that on the website. But one of the things I'm not very good on this because I file everything and think
Wait,
in
you
terms
keep
of
everything.
like keep
you
everything.
don't file everything.
But let's think about it. We'll go through the filing cabinet and it will say like,
Love.
but everything is just, I got to save that. And so I write on the top, F for file, and then I write something down. But I do books of the Bible,
For Fignet.
and then anything that I get, culture, sex is a big one, friendships,
Yeah.
video games, whatever. And so what I've done, because file
Cabinets.
Folders.
folders are not that expensive, I've just written what I think it is
Yeah.
and put it in there. Then once a year or something, go through and go, oh gosh, this could collapse into this. And so instead of worrying about what your biggies are, just file everything at
But you
first.
just said once a year you consolidate your files?
I would say you should.
Oh,
I do.
you
That would be the ideal.
You've got files on files. You actually have a file that talks about other files.
I do.
Yep.
I do.
It's quite a collection.
That's Philemon. That's so stupid.
Oh, golly.
I don't even know where that came from.
So anyway, what I would say to Jason really is whatever strikes me.
Whatever strikes your fancy.
And you tear out everything. Small little things of newspapers, anything you find, you save.
I have one right here in my notebook, right here.
Yeah.
What is it?
USA Today, when I was flying back from St. Louis, there was a thing on college campuses teaching students to be eco-friendly, green, basically. And I tore that out because as we're finishing designing the
I got
student
an
building,
earful about that.
I'm getting a lot of grief from people trying to do a green building.
You got to stand strong.
I am.
Are you going to do a green building?
We are.
This is
It's
what's
going to be
cool.
the first
No.
green building in South Orange County.
Absolutely. It's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, but I'm getting all kinds of the facilities guys are going, well, we had a whole thing, a discussion on toilets.
Not a whole thing. A 4-hour discussion.
Well, it wasn't
Oh,
4 hours.
I went
Yeah,
to
2
lunch
meetings.
after that second meeting. I went to lunch with that facilities guy and with Bill Crane. Got an earful about how crazy you guys are.
It's for the world. It's for the environment.
But
You know
let's
what?
do the
We
leadership
care.
principle on
We're
that,
green.
though.
Yeah.
Jana, you were in the meeting. Is nobody cares as deeply about what you care about. So if you're the leader of a project or the leader of the vision or the leader of the budget or whatever it is, when you get pushback,
Could be the leader of the pack.
you could be. I've had to go, no, we're going to do that. And I realize it's going to cost a little bit, and I realize it makes your job, a little more
Inconvenient.
and so anyway. Yes, we are going to have waterless toilets, Matt.
Thank goodness.
Urinals.
50.
Urinals.
They call those outhouses.
Yeah, there's been a couple times Jana's been in those meetings and she's just rolling her head and going, oh my gosh, do I have to be a
and
part
her
of
eyes.
this?
Totally.
Just in there.
Rolling her head.
This meeting's ridiculous.
She's got her zit rolling.
I was just saying that. Showing people my zit. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, hey Chris, when I cough, how
Leader
was
of
that
the
in
pack.
how was that in your ears?
In his ears?
The
Oh.
producer has left the building.
The producer took his
Bad
headphones.
sign. Bad sign.
Wow. It was hurting his ears too
No,
bad.
that's okay. I was just saying when I was coughing, is it bad? You're
What's
okay.
happening?
No, it's great.
This is from Jeremy Krause,
Stop.
Fusion Student Ministries, Manhattan, Kansas.
Oh.
He's
there's
finishing
one of those in New
The
York.
Big Apple.
He's finishing his Master's of Divinity degree, and he's got to do a final thesis. And he would like to do a youth ministry thesis that would benefit others. And so he asked for ideas or suggestions.
Did I forget to turn my phone off?
Whose is that?
It's not mine. I turned mine
Matt,
off.
that's yours right there. Oh, it's mine. It's just in my lap.
That's a very masculine ring you've got there.
Thank you.
I'm gonna finish this podcast standing up.
That'll be quite a show for those watching on video.
Yeah. He says, some ideas I've received so far: training parents to disciple their children, evangelism statistics continue to go down through the number of youth workers and resources are larger than ever before. Okay. Or what does a biblical reproducible model of youth ministry look like? I was going to plagiarize PDYM and hope my professor never looked into it.
That was kind of funny.
Okay. Any thoughts? Any thoughts on a thesis?
For his MDiv,
He's basically said, and he suggests I'm going to spend a couple hundred hours of research on it.
I would do the resurgence of social church, like churches and youth ministries that are active in the community and that are giving back and that are aware of global issues. That
Green
feels like
concern.
those. Yeah, the green actually ties in. Yeah, but it feels like that goes in cycles, and it would be interesting. I feel like we're in a stage where that's very important right now. It'd be fun to look at the history of that and predict what's coming.
Well, what would be helpful to you as a youth worker?
Not that, probably.
It'd be
But for a
interesting.
thesis, it
But
doesn't
for
need to
somebody
be
else to
interesting.
do the work.
I don't know. It might be interesting to do something about the internet and community. You know, internet,
Absolutely.
the social networking and all that stuff.
As it relates to the church or youth ministry
Well,
or
definitely as it relates
Christianity.
to youth ministry and students. And
Yep.
To
that
students,
could be
yeah.
interesting.
Yep.
But that's pretty much it. Thesis for MDiv equals worthless.
See, that's why my idea feels really solid, because no one really reads those anyhow,
Well,
except
you
the
know, what
professor.
about all
So-
there's a lot of action going on right now about the statistics. Like there's some company that took out an ad that says, 3 out of every 4 kids is leaving the church when they graduate, and we take that kind of stuff as
Right,
gospel
right,
when
right.
you see somebody took an ad out on it where I'm not exactly sure that that's
Statistics
true.
are some of the stupidest things I've
Well,
ever seen.
but
But that one's getting a lot of play.
it is getting a lot of
It's
play.
true.
That would be an interesting one. There was a youth ministry in guy's working on his PhD he was in Kentucky, and he wanted to do something with our class of 2000 graduates, which is the Josh Warren, Jared Moyne,
Robbie
Boyd, that whole crew right there.
yes.
And he wanted to do, where are they? Were they core students in your ministry?
Cool.
And where are they now? 7, 8 years later. And I thought it was really interesting. Part of the problem was he wanted like email lists and database. I'm thinking, we can't even find our database from last
I could get
year.
that.
You could get that? I should have him work with you because I
I
didn't
don't
blow
know.
him off. I said I love the idea, but I really said I can't even find last
I
year's
could send him a
database.
couple old access databases as long as he didn't exploit the information for.
But I just felt like for me the time was he wanted to know which were our core students back then, where are they now, and what I suggested I could give you 10 email addresses of kids that I know that graduated from that class, and you
It's
could
a little
have
subjective,
conversation.
though.
Yeah. So anyway, he never
for
wrote me
study.
back, but
Oh, he
sounded
never
like an
wrote you
interesting.
back?
Well, once I said I couldn't really, I just didn't have time to do all the stuff that he was asking.
Well,
One
that's a
thing
good
I
idea
thought would
for
be
a study.
important, which I never did. I mean, imagine us having an idea and not following through. But
Hard to believe.
is every year, like graduation time, whatever month that is, June or something, doing like your top 30. What are the top 30 kids in your group? And then every year, like in Kurt doing that for junior high and high school, and then doing that for each grade, and then after a couple of years, just looking, who would still be on that, and maybe do a couple different.
So a percent less, where it becomes universal to everybody listening. Not
As soon
necessarily
as I said 30,
top
I knew you were
30.
gonna hop on that. I'm
Well,
sorry.
a percentage that would be helpful because some people listening are going, I haven't had 30 kids in my group in 3 years. So you're saying a percentage of pick a percent.
But
Yeah,
top
track that.
being
Yeah,
you're
top
most
10,
committed, you're
top-
most involved, you're most.
Yeah, I would do it a different ways. I mean, I was even thinking you do your top 30 turds. I mean, how fun would that be to see? Like you all know those students that as a freshman, Brazel would have been on that as a freshman, but as a freshman, and then by the time they're a senior, they're like totally great. But I mean,
Right.
the most involved, most.
Yeah.
Anyhow, We never did it.
Well, Jeremy, there's a couple ideas. His idea about training parents to disciple their children, to me, would be more interesting. Is instead of training parents to say, is what are the everybody's looking for resources now. Like I got an email yesterday. What's the best dating resources to give to kids? And keeping up with resources that are out currently, that would be an interesting, somebody who's just a master of resources. And
Amazon.com.
yeah, but okay, so let's say you wanted to get a book off Amazon on dating. How do you know if it's any good?
Other people's rating it.
All right, well, pretty much you got it, man.
Thesis solved right there.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah, 'cause
No? Okay.
I
great.
know all those people rating it, so
No,
Yes.
you just asked.
then maybe you could find a person who knew the people who were rating it to find out if they were credible raters or not.
And just get them an access database and you'd be all set.
Yeah. This is from James. James O'Connell, I'm not sure where. He says, "You're always giving out freebies to all of us. Here's one for you. You
Ooh.
probably have a similar one already, but it's the thought that counts, right?"
Nope.
And James, I would say thank you. I have no idea what the resource is.
Yeah,
'cause
what's the freebie?
Josh just printed that for me.
The logo right there? Oh.
That was
paper cut.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
I thought I was going to get a paper cut from that. I'm all
All
set.
right. My name
Sorry.
is Nick
A
Wittenhall.
paper cut doesn't go, oh, wow, a paper cut.
It was
Yeah, that's
close.
true. A paper
Here's,
cut goes,
here's
It goes.
he sent you a PowerPoint file.
Okay.
TX
Yeah,
challenge.
I think my Outlook deleted it as a virus.
All right.
In all seriousness.
Okay.
So, sorry.
So
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
great. Well, thanks, James.
Just
But-
zip
but I-
it and send it back.
But I probably already have that one. All right, this is Nick Wittenhall. He said, "I was the one who asked you about babysitting at the National Youth Workers Convention in San Diego. You offered to pay for 1 month of babysitting.
Are you serious?
I never had
What?
the chance to get your email address because I had to run right out after the amazing question and answer time with you and your wife, Kathy. So I am forced to use this email to get to you. I've been sharing this story with many of my students, and I have many willing to babysit now. Thanks. So how should we proceed?
Oh,
What?
that's funny. So how should we proceed?
Thanks for offering this.
Schedule.
My wife was extremely excited to hear the news. We may actually get some time to ourselves for a change."
Wait, what
Okay,
did you
here's
what
here's
happened?
the story. Kathy and I are doing a question and answer at the National Youth Workers Convention, and it was on marriage and family. And this guy was saying, basically, I just said, "You got to get out of the house. Your wife's got little kids," and he said, "But we can't afford babysitting." And I said, "Well, you can't afford not to. You got to get her out of the house, So I said, "I'll pay for your first month babysitting." And then everybody's like, "We pay for mine too. We pay for mine too." I said, No,
Awesome.
but I said I would pay for this guy. So he is writing in
Cashing in.
for that. Yeah,
Really?
trying to cash in.
I like
and
it.
I actually, when I first read it, when he says, "I've been sharing this story with many of my students, and I'm many willing to babysit now," I thought, "Oh, that's good. It won't cost me anything because they're going to willing to babysit for free."
Yeah, as a ministry to
Yeah.
serve the
which they should do, but no. So how should we proceed? Nick, here's how we proceed: is you
Set up a
pay your
lemonade
babysitters. I'm paying for a month. You pay once a week. You take your wife out. I will pay for the babysitter. You send me the receipt, and I will write you a personal
Because
check.
babysitters oftentimes issue
well,
receipts. All right.
So you come up with your own receipt.
Yeah, come up with your own receipt. Should I give him a maximum of what he can spend per night?
Yeah,
How many kids
4
does he have?
hours
No,
a
no,
night.
no, because how
4
many
hours
kids does
a
he
night.
have?
4 hours.
Yeah,
a
how
week.
many
That's
kids
a
does he
good
have?
night
That's
out.
an-
4
That's
hours?
A dinner and a movie
Okay.
Fortnite.
and some good necking.
Good necking. Okay.
No.
I'm going to say 5 since you said 4. I'd
Yeah.
like to be
You
a
like
little more
to-
generous than you.
Yeah.
Although you pay babysitters well.
He does.
Yeah, but with the kids you've got,
It's a
you want to
deal.
keep them coming back.
All right, so 5
And since
hours.
he married into money,
time.
it's not an issue.
Money is
Oh.
no.
All right, so
Yeah.
Nick,
Bev.
just send it to me.
What-
at
how- what's the
at
hourly
Simply
rate?
Youth Ministry.
What's the hourly
At
rate?
That's how
least
many
10.
kids he's got.
Let's
Well,
say
at least
10
10.
bucks.
At
Really?
least-
Is that
oh,
what babysitters
yeah.
are
You're in for a
now?
couple $100 now.
Cheap, cheap, cheap.
I like it.
Me or him?
Where
Yeah,
are they
thank
from though?
you.
'Cause California is a little bit inflated compared to the rest of the country.
Well,
so
dude, if you're paying 10, but you got 4 kids,
We pay
all
12.
under the age of 5.
And that 12,
We
for
pay 12
no
bucks
way.
now.
I would feel bad.
Wow.
yeah,
And you still can find babysitters.
without any problem.
Really?
I gotta get.
If people
I gotta
watching
get
the
my
show are going to
kid.
say $12 an hour, no way, because they're paying 6 or 3.
Great.
Maybe.
Great. Hopefully Nick can do it for $3 an hour. But Nick, I promise you, I will pay for that, and we should also send him a what matters most, so he reads that because that would be.
No, you should send him 365 things to romantic ways to connect with your wife or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Andy?
Andy.
Andy's being conspicuously quiet now. Free resources, someone? What? No.
Is Doug's new book basically the same content as the seminar that he teaches that you specialties because the seminar was awesome? No. Because I did with
Sorry.
Duffy. It's called Speaking to Teenagers. And it's some of the stuff that's in there, but
And if you buy
But-
it from us, you get a free interview with them.
Oh, there it is.
and if we
There's
buy
Andy.
it from us, you get a free interview with Duffy. All right.
Free interview with
What
Duffy?
is
You
it?
didn't
Like
teach that at the seminar, though.
I used to do a
Crafting messages.
crafty messages
Right.
that matter, and so there's some material.
Oh, I thought he
that,
said that. I'm sorry. You're right. I get it.
Yabble.
Brian
What's
Ferry.
this little thing?
I don't
Again?
know. Yeah,
like a
he wrote
witty.
in a few questions,
Kinda like a
but
witty.
actually
Brian.
he did it well. He did them. They're short,
Yeah.
concise.
In 3
Are
different
they to the
emails,
point?
though.
Are they pithy?
No. Brian Ferry from Anderson Hills here. Don't you dare make fun of my last name, or I will poke you in the throat.
Oh,
I-
Matt
Oh,
and Josh
little-
already
A
did.
little late. Should have had that
What
in your
did I
first
say? I
email.
said it was magical.
Yeah.
Fairy.
It's like a little. And now
Jana
Jana joins
coming
the
alive.
club.
Oh,
No,
man.
I'm not joining the
Jana,
club.
do you have
I'm-
coffee today, or is it just the zit that's making you giddy?
Yep,
All
it's
right.
the
Here we go.
zit.
Barry.
Jana, I just want you to know, as your friend, I have not commented on the zit.
You commented first.
You serious? You like wanted the camera to zoom in? Does this ring a
I
bell?
may be in my own reality.
As your friend, I want you to know that. Forget.
Normally I don't pick on Jana like that, though. I let
Well,
you guys
that's
do it.
true.
Yeah.
When
Also
Golden
totally true.
he says, when should a student ministry add a staff person? Is
Tomorrow.
it based on numbers, programs? Do you partner on junior high and senior high, or divide and conquer?
All right.
I
As
was
soon
actually
as you're
asked
allowed.
this-
Yes. No. No. Yes.
I was asked this in St. Louis
Decisive.
by a guy, and I said, "What answer do you want?" I said, "If you want it based on numbers, and you want to go back and say, hey, I asked Doug Fields, and he said 55." I said, "Quote me, say whatever you want." The problem is with this question, there are so many factors that go into it, because the question becomes, who are your volunteers? How many volunteers do you have? Are you using your time effectively? You can't just say it's based on once you have X number of kids in
Right.
the ministry, because there may be a volunteer-led ministry that is organized and run so well that they don't
Yeah.
need a paid person. So this is a tough one to answer, especially like on a podcast Q&A type thing. I think if we, sat down over a
Yeah,
meal
what are
with
the
a whiteboard and
expectations that
said,
are put on him?
yeah,
Well, and the problem is
what's
all
your
youth
capacity?
ministries.
What other parts of your job
Yeah.
description do you have?
Right. All youth
How much
ministries
of a
want more
moron are
staff.
you?
So the answer is always yes. I want more. It's time. Let's add somebody. So
Yeah.
he obviously wants to add staff, and
Yeah.
he just wants to be responsible. So make a case and pitch it.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's part of what we talked about a little bit earlier when, we were talking about the waterless toilets, when you got to take a stand for something. I mean, at some point, you got to go, I don't know how I can do this anymore, and present, make a case, present it. But, if you're at a good church, they're probably going to push back, as opposed to just write you a blank check and say, go hire somebody. But, after a while, if you're doing good ministry, we want to support people that are doing good ministry, and if it's going to keep you around. If I was an elder at a church like that, I would ask difficult questions, but then I would figure out a way to make it happen. But that's just me.
Is this the Chucky doll?
It kind of looks like
That's
his little
scary.
email icon is.
I don't know. He wrote another one. Says, my wife is due with our second daughter just after Thanksgiving. And I was wondering what Doug thinks about naming our daughter Cody.
Ooh.
What?
You have a son named Cody, so
Yeah.
naming a daughter Cody, what is that? How does that
There
make
was
you
a
feel?
5th email from this man.
Yeah, we're not going to answer that one, all right? We gotta draw the line somewhere.
Yeah. So I don't think Cody's really a good name for a girl.
I like
Oh,
Cody's girl.
Cody's fine as a girl.
It's
Really?
a good
Yeah.
name for a city in Wyoming.
Thank you, Josh.
You're welcome.
And we're back.
Ah.
No, that was good.
Wait, that's it? You don't think it's a good name?
It's not as good as
boy's name.
Magnus.
It's a Magnus. Is
All right,
that
well,
the
let's
next
come up
one?
with names that they could name their daughter.
No,
since
Cody's fine
out.
for a girl.
Cody's totally
I
a
like-
I think it's-
genderless name.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Cody's all male.
Think
Well,
of
your
the famous
Cody's all
Codys.
male.
Think of the famous Codys. You think of any girl Codys?
I can't think of anything. Cody.
Wild Bill
No,
Cody?
there was a Cody, and the reason that I like Cody is he was a quarterback for the Houston
Oh,
Oilers
of course.
many years ago.
Don't even exist
He
anymore.
was a girl.
She was a
I
great
can't remember
quarterback.
I can't remember his last name, but it was a Cody, and I thought, oh, that's kind of a cool name.
Was that the
But
inspiration
back
for Cody?
16, 17 years ago, yeah, that was.
Yeah, yeah.
Back then, there wasn't many Codys. Now Cody's kind
Jana,
of
what girl's name would you recommend? Cody's fine, or have you picked out names?
No, you know my name, Lola.
I love it. Cody's fine.
Lola? Oh, you can't do
Lola.
You can't do Lola.
Lola.
No.
Oh.
Right
Can't
in.
do Lola.
No.
Do you know if it's a girl?
No.
Oh, okay. Jana is with child. Have we announced that on
no.
the podcast?
Oh my goodness. Wow.
It's something about sitting in the seat because Natalie had to leave because she was pregnant, and now
Yes.
Yeah.
And soon Matt will be pregnant as well.
I already am.
Hey, speaking of pregnant,
Yes.
Matthew McNutt,
Yes.
our large friend from the world's
Biggest
largest loser.
Loser.
What's
Biggest
it called?
loser.
Biggest loser.
But he's not a large
No,
friend.
no, he's
And he's not pregnant.
he was.
I know. I'm
he
wondering
was
where we're going with this.
300. He told me he was 365 pounds.
Did you see him?
Yeah,
at
I
the
saw him in
conference?
St. Louis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he
Incredible.
looked great.
Wow.
Yeah, Andy was there.
It's incredible.
He's now down to 230. He got all the way
Oh,
down
that's
to
awesome.
210. The doctors told him he was too thin. But he said, here's what he
Wow.
said to me.
The doctor
This is
says
gonna be
to me.
good.
Yeah.
He said,
No. Okay, go.
He said, he goes, because I told him, I said, now that like the world's biggest loser is it
It's not
world's
called
or
the
America's?
world's biggest
America's
loser.
biggest loser? What
Just
is it?
call it the biggest
It's
loser.
the biggest loser. Congratulations, you're
I
the
said
world's
it's just,
biggest loser.
It's just getting great airtime now. It's a 24-hour fitness. It's you see
Yeah,
it
Jamba
advertised
Juice has
all
a
the
thing
time.
on now. Yeah.
Anyway, I said it's he was on like season 1 or something like that.
Yeah, earlier.
He says
yeah.
they're now doing teams.
Hmm.
And he thought it would be a great idea for you and Matt
Ah.
to do it together.
If
How
I could
great
afford
would
that
be?
time away, I'd love to do it, but it's too big of a commitment, I think.
Oh, I
Now, if somebody could pull some strings,
I could pull some strings.
Matt, are you in?
Like I care about trying to get thin.
I thought he was gonna give you a fad diet
It's
tip,
about
and
a
you were
bit.
gonna be
It's
like,
about a bit. It's not about anything else.
Yeah.
It's about us being the biggest loser.
He's gonna come down in December.
Is he coming
Who's
in
he,
December?
But what
We-
is he like now recruiting people for the show?
No,
He is
he's
so
here for a
happy
season
and
finale
healthy
deal.
and
He's just
he's here for the
spry
season
now.
finale.
They're
He's like,
planning
you ought to
it
be on the
for
biggest
season
league.
finale
Oh, that's
LA,
cool.
and he's gonna drive down and hang out for a podcast.
That's
oh,
cool.
fun. We gotta have him on the podcast.
Yeah. So, Matt, I'm not sensing a lot of energy towards this.
Well, I don't even know if I could take the time off either. Besides, I really like food and being fat. Today in the office, I was talking to somebody.
they blew smoke in your face?
I was talking to somebody who I can't say who it is, but
Right.
this person's very irritating, and I usually avoid them.
Okay.
Jana's right here.
And I don't know them at all,
Okay.
but decided to give me weight advice.
Oh.
And this person's quite interesting themselves.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
This person, male or female, just to make the game more fun for us.
Female.
Really? Was female?
Yeah.
Game on.
Really? Gave
So,
you weight advice?
What did they say? Did they give you is it good advice?
No.
Oh, I so.
Yeah. Once this show's over.
Yeah.
I'll write it down if you guys.
We're going to
don't say
Outback
it.
and talking about this,
Oh
guys.
golly.
It's
So wrong.
I don't know
you might
if you
not
know
even
her.
know her.
Oh, that's.
But you know, this person really doesn't have a lot of confidence in themselves because they always talk about how great they are and national stuff. And anyhow, it was really hard for me just not to say, "Hey, let's really talk about something that's important."
like your weight.
No, like why don't you love yourself? I mean, it's just
Yeah.
decided to be restrained. I'm in the adult world now, so I restrain
It's the
myself.
new-
Yeah. Well, you
The
are the
new
future
man.
of the church. And so
Future leaders of today.
So Matt, in that, the idea behind that is bigger picture. principle for everybody.
No pun
listening.
intended.
It's just think of
The
Yeah, let's see how you bring
the
this back
idea.
around.
Well, I'm just thinking that when you're talking to somebody and all they do is talk about themselves,
Yes.
what sign is that for you?
Oh, well, it depends on how they talk about themselves.
Okay.
I think it depends on how they talk about themselves.
Did you come up and grab this?
The little waddle.
Oh,
Did you do that? No.
That's against the sound of like 10 Commandments.
To touch that third chin.
Yes. No, that was the fourth.
That's the fourth. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'd cheer for you guys if you were on The Biggest Loser.
would you root
Guys,
for
how
us?
fun would that be?
Let's apply, man.
You could
Come on.
wear Simple Youth Ministry shirts.
Oh, gosh.
No, there's no way they'd let that
They-
go. But
you wear
Andy,
your own shirt. They get,
you do wear your own
I'll
shirt?
pay you.
I never watched
you
the
wear
show.
their shirts.
Yeah.
You've never watched the show.
No.
Josh.
No.
Mish loves the show.
Oh,
Wait, why?
our friend Neely
what was
McQueen.
the Josh
Because
for?
you watch
Like,
every show.
oh, well.
You
I
watch
like-
every show.
I do like.
Our friend Neely McQueen, crazy
She
about
loves
it.
it.
Crazy
yeah.
about
Yeah,
it.
she's tried to get me on it for like the
Hey,
last 3 seasons.
speaking of things you do at night, we gotta get your
Oh no, let's not.
what? Watching TV. I was thinking of Xbox.
Oh, yes.
People, if you have a gamer tag, you need to sign up theforce.net.
Yes.
Or no, just the Force.
The Force Net on Xbox Live. We've been playing with a bunch of youth pastors from around the country. It
Yeah.
has been, and
it's
Saddleback
a
guys.
blast.
It has been so much fun.
Oh, it is.
Okay, I'm out to dinner last week with Duffy Robbins
Yeah.
and Walt Mueller. Okay, Mr.
Cool.
Culture,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a lot, and I haven't heard this yet because I just haven't read the right articles or something. But I guess there is a lot of
Something called MySpace.
no.
It's the New York Times. I'm calling it right now.
There's a lot of seminary professors who are now talking about youth workers using violent games as evangelistic.
Yeah.
There's articles all the time. That
Yeah,
come
there's an
across
article in the
them.
New York Times about a month
Is
ago when
Halo
Halo 3
violent?
came out, and they said, they were challenging the assumption that churches could play an M-rated, mature-rated game, Halo 3, and use that as an outreach event. A bunch of kids running around, whatever.
Josh did a survey on his blog on it.
Yeah.
You don't read his blog?
I don't read his blog. I
Uh,
read it when he was in Australia because he
the-
didn't, ever return my email.
Yeah,
Well,
he
I was
was a
very
little
busy.
lost then.
Yeah.
And volcanoes and all that.
Dude, remember the first annual Halloween event?
Halloween, that was
Hey, can you get me?
legendary.
Can you get me a copy of that article?
It's actually on, if you go to
You'd like to file
pdymblog.com, it's the third article down. One of our mentors wrote an article about the New York Times article.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting opinion and case for it.
PDYM.com or PDYM
pdymblog.com. Yeah.
Okay. PDYMblog.com.
Yep.
Which, by the way, I need to remind me afterwards. I want to ask you a question about that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
need to blog.
I've
Stands for
blogged twice
weblog.
or three
Twice,
times
yeah.
on that.
But it's not bad. That's an average of one every 10 days. So no, but there were 5 posts yesterday, and one of them was Halo, Guitar Hero, and the church. And I thought it was a really interesting perspective.
That's
So.
sweet.
Well, it is Guitar Hero 3, which is kind of a throwback to the Trinity.
Have you ever played Guitar Hero?
Yeah, I hated it.
I think I might pay admission to watch you play that.
Really?
On The
Yeah.
Biggest
Why?
Loser, you're playing Guitar Hero.
Why?
I don't know. Just
You just think I'd dance around and do it?
If it was a Metallica
I
song.
just kind of.
They do have
I
some
kind
great
of just
rock
have
on
this
there.
idea of you holding a little tiny plastic guitar up to your
Shirt
body.
off, leather pants.
Oh,
Leather
brother.
No
All right,
shoes.
Matt
and
Beeman.
smoke.
One of the early podcasts, you guys talked about a student leadership application that you used at Saddleback. We're starting a student leadership for our junior high ministry in January, and we'll be doing an application process as well. Can you post the student leadership application
We
under
already
freebies?
have.
We have posted under freebies?
Yeah, because remember we did the whole leadership resource notebook, and we decided to take the whole thing down and just put the application up.
Okay.
Sure, it's up there.
It should be up there. If it's not, there's also it's also in PDYM. It's in the book, chapter 10.
I don't know if the
That's a
application's
old
in there.
one. It's got to talk with
Hey,
Sal
but
for.
Matt, you should think about bringing your student leaders to our PDYM Student Leadership Conference,
I don't have
July
any student
15th.
leaders.
I'm talking to Matt.
The Matt from the email.
Yeah.
Yeah, next July at Saddleback, fun event.
July
and
15th through the 18th.
Yeah, it's
That's
gonna
like
be
a
Hey,
100
and,
years away, and you're already pushing
Francis
it.
Chan is speaking at it.
Yes.
Which I heard. I haven't listened to his tape yet. I heard he hit a grand slam at U Specialties.
Everyone
Oh.
says
I,
it's
you,
amazing.
I've
the
heard
last
that
two
too.
times I've heard him.
He's doing our student
He's
leadership. Hey, well, let's just pause right here and talk
That
about.
He's
should
also
be the
speaking at
thesis.
he's speaking at
the
the
power
summit.
speakers
the
think
AIDS
they
summit.
have, but don't.
He is speaking at the 8th Summit.
Yes.
I forgot about that. Well, we have just coming up. We have the AIDS Summit on December 1st. It's a youth summit. We're going to satellite it to many different churches.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put
Yeah.
the list up on the blog. They got me the list today. I'll put it up
They're
on the PDI blog.
satelliting the Youth AIDS Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Francis Chan is speaking at it. Kay Warren speaking at it. Rick Warren speaking at
Yeah,
it.
Jenna
Jenna
Bush.
Bush.
That's awesome.
Who's Jenna
The first
Bush?
daughter.
Oh,
Is
She
that the right? I
wrote-
meant
Or
Yeah.
they're twins,
or
so
the second daughter? I
the
don't know.
half daughter.
President Bush's daughter.
There's
He's
a
got a
global
half-daughter?
summit.
No, I mean half isn't my twins.
From his first marriage. Dun, dun, dun.
like,
No.
I didn't think you could be president if you're divorced.
The Global Summit on AIDS and the
Franklin
church
Roosevelt.
is hosting its first Youth Summit on AIDS. The incredible event will be held December 1st. If you attend the Global Summit, which is at our church, and that's like 3 days,
Right.
and it's,
Thursday and
29
Friday.
Friday.
and
Yeah.
you go. I mean, it's unbelievable. There's people coming from all over the world
Yeah.
on that one. But on the Saturday, December 1st, is the youth one. And amazing opportunities for students to go through the World Vision Experience, the AIDS exhibit, where they essentially take on real life situation that thousands of people face every day as they find out their HIV status.
That's Matt's phone now.
That is the giggles.
Oh, she's got a question about something she's doing for me.
Is that your wife?
No.
Could she text you? Could you put that on meeting or vibrate or something like that? Anyway, what we're doing is we're going to simulcast this.
I might be in my own world.
CNN, not CNN, CCN,
CCN.
Christian
Network of
Network.
Network of News, is so if you subscribe to CNN,
CCN.
you can host that at your church. The best way to do this is purposedriven.com/youth summit, December
There you
1st.
go.
Great way to expose your kids to what is happening around the world. 8,000 people all over the world die every day of HIV/AIDS. So anyway, Francis Chan speaking at this as well, that was the transition. He's doing it then in the summer we have a student leadership conference.
Yeah.
And I just heard that our Simply Youth Ministry conference that we're doing in February with Group Publishing is already got. Can we say it, Andy?
Yeah.
We already got with Tony Dungy and a bunch of people. It's already over 800 people have signed up for that.
How much has his speaking thing gone up from last year?
Tony Dungy? Oh, it has to be a lot.
I don't know.
I would
Actually,
like to know the answer to that question.
well, here's the deal. We
We
got
could have
him.
booked him before he did the Super Bowl.
But here's the thing. He has his book that Group Publishing did his workbook,
Mm-hmm.
published his workbook. So he is coming to our event, the Group Simply Youth Ministry event, for free.
For free.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and he's
awesome.
a great,
Oh,
Yeah,
so
he's a
nice.
great
great,
guy.
great guy.
Incredible testimony.
And Andy, what is the link to that?
Youthministry.com/conference.
Youthministry.com/conference,
And
we
that's
are
conference with a C for the Germans, not with a K.
Conference
we are
A?
going to sell that out.
It's going to be cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it for
You
sure.
might not sell it out.
No, we're going to sell it out. Matt, last year we had 1,200 people at it, and at this time last year we had like 50 people signed up. We have over 800 people signed up. It's
What about-
February 22nd through the 25th?
Now, can we get a podcast on Matt's calendar and get him out there? We'll all
we're
be
gonna do
there.
it live. We're gonna do it live. We're
Live
gonna do a
show
podcast
at
on
the
Friday.
conference, at the
So
group conference
do
in
I Skype
Cincinnati.
in or do I?
No.
No,
You
you
gotta
show
go.
up.
You gotta
You
go.
stay in our hotel. It'll be fun.
Can I stay in your room?
Yes. You have to share it with 2 other dudes.
You know what? It'd be great when I meet Tony Dungy. Can I tell him you're my bodyguard?
Sure. I don't.
And you're going to be on The
That'd be
Biggest
great.
Loser next season.
Oh, I told somebody a story the other day about things you say, and I told somebody a story about the cat. And when I told them that you told them, they were like, "I can't believe he threw you under the bus." And I just thought it was so funny.
But it was years
story.
later, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not much of a story, though.
Did you kill a cat?
Let's not go into it.
I don't think I know the story.
Oh.
And dot, dot,
I
dot.
got thrown under the bus.
Yeah, but it was years later, and it was safe to tell that I asked you to
there were
kidnap my
still
cat.
some sparks.
I asked Matt years ago, I said, can you get rid of my cat?
Oh, that's awesome.
You
And,
did.
and
story.
Matt
You were-
took the cat, and he put it in his trunk, and because he lived a couple blocks away, put it in his trunk, and I don't even remember where we got the cat. It was just crazy cat.
It
and
was
then,
like your wife's favorite cat.
no, it
Oh,
That's your own reality. Then he gets there, he takes it out of the trunk. And he just lets it free in the
Reverse.
neighborhood.
I took it like miles away.
And the cat came back to our house.
It was like Old Yeller. It was unbelievable.
so you shot it in the end?
No, I was giving him all kinds of grief that, dude, I asked you to do a simple thing, like get rid of my cat. Were you in college at the time?
No, I was on staff.
Were you?
Yeah.
How long
Were you
ago
an
was that?
intern? You were an intern.
That was like 10 years ago.
'Cause you
though.
live
I was
at
still living at the Ham
Ham
Hock
Works.
house. Yeah.
Ham what?
The Ham Hock.
Silly.
Oh, Jana. Okay. Corey
Silly
Vogan. Corey, here's what I'm going to say to you. I'm not going to answer your question, but I wrote.
You're not going to read
Oh.
his question.
I'm not going to read it, but
Could
here's
be a
what I'm going to
girl,
say to you.
Corey.
Yeah.
Talk
Corey's
to
a
your
lot like
pastor.
Cody.
I said this is a great question, but I'm not going to address it here, and I probably could have just wrote him back and saved everybody,
Yeah.
people wondering what that is. But you need to have your
What's the
pastor. You need to have your pastor advise you.
It
of
makes
that.
for a riveting show, though,
I
when you
agree.
have mysterious emails.
There's only 8
and-
minutes of tape.
Only 8? Seems like this has been like 2 hours.
left? How come
Okay,
you don't
two more
record-
questions. Here,
Here
we
we
go.
go.
Two more questions.
Oh, got
Hey
the pat
guys and
down.
girls, I'm gonna suck up a bit and say I love the show and all that stuff.
Thanks
and I
for
actually
saying
mean it.
girls.
Oh man.
That's nice.
Thanks for including Jana for a change.
Beep.
After
Girls,
3
wait a
years
minute.
of interning in Stouffville, Ontario, Canada,
Whoa.
my church has finally hired me on full time, and I've basically been progressing into complete ownership of the junior high ministry. I've recently realized
So
that I
we
need
own
more in
ministry.
junior high than a solid program. It's at the point where I'd love to be able to read this, but the printing is
The toner's
Looks like
bad.
the toner might have been low.
And your radio
where that is
autonomy's
set.
wearing off.
It's tight scheduled. The leaders are all leading the games, music, everything. But I know the kids won't really feel connected and invest in the ministry unless they are actively involved. My group is anywhere from 25 to 35 kids on Wednesday night. My question is, what are some good, real, tangible ways of getting junior hires involved in the ministry so they are not just spectators but are owners as well?
I don't know. You could ask them.
All right, there you go, Alex
All
Street,
right.
Springville Baptist
We'd
Church.
love to
Thanks
answer.
for writing.
We'd love to answer it, but we don't want to do it on the show.
Oh,
so.
you could ask them.
Offer
Well-
up a pair of ice skates.
That's your Canadian humor.
Ride on the Mountie.
The good, real, tangible ways. But here's one of the things he said: games, music, and he's got other things that adults are doing. My response is just get the kids involved in those.
Well, it's the same thing I said.
You said ask them. I'm just saying. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Matt. That was a good answer. We should have left it with that. Just ask them. what I would say, Alex, is don't be afraid to take a hit in some programming quality by getting kids to do some of the things that adults are doing. That if there's games and music, let some of the kids lead those. Maybe the adults, instead of leading them, they're getting together with the kids after school one day of the week, picking them up, having a Coke, and saying, "Hey, let's work together and plan the game."
Yeah.
Giving them some leadership responsibility.
No, I think it's good. I think you could have kids back at the soundboard, or if you have a PowerPoint or a computer, you
Running
can have them do that. Obviously, greeting ministries and things like that are easy to do. I think there's a ton of opportunities for junior hires to serve.
I think in our ministry, it's fun to see our junior hires on stage singing and stuff because they change so much in 2 years.
Right,
And then
right.
to see them really leading effectively in high school has been fun. They're doing a good job.
Yeah, I think that I was thinking today. I spoke at Vanguard University. It was their homecoming today, and Chase, and I'm drawing a blank on his last
Waterhouse.
Nope.
name. Waterhouse.
Oh.
Came up to me,
I was
and
gonna
he was running doing the audio and the PowerPoint stuff like that. And it was kind of dark in there, and he was wearing a hat, and he's graduated a few years ago. But he says, "Hi, Doug, I'm Chase," and I'm looking at him going, "I know who you are." And we started talking. He was running PowerPoint, and I said, "When you were in
cool.
high school, you taught in children's ministry." He said, "I did children's ministry all the way through my freshman year of college."
Yep.
But to me, the principle was that, when you make an effort to get kids involved in ministry and they graduate, they're going to minister somewhere. And so his deal now at college is he runs the sound and the lighting and all that. And I was just telling him how proud I was of him that, he's using his
a good
gifts
guy.
and things like that. And so to me, Alex, what I wrote down on your little email is where there's a need, there's a ministry. And I also wrote down the word individual. Just don't do a sign up like, hey, we need people to, be greeters
Right,
or run
right.
sound or whatever. But have those individual conversations with them and ask them to do it.
Individual is the best way.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Kind of like Scooby-Doo.
All right. Hey, Barry from Bismarck.
Last question.
Really? Barry from Bismarck.
Barry from Bismarck, North Dakota. He basically, I'm going to summarize his question. He
North
says
Dakota.
he's got two groups, a Sunday night youth service and a midweek group. And the Sunday night is a little bit more high energy, entertaining, that type of thing. He says on Wednesday nights, it's a little bit more of an intimate setting. He says, I'm struggling to get the same interaction. And I think based on when I read it, was kind of a longer email, but I think he was saying the same attendance. And Matt, for those maybe that haven't heard the pitch before, do you want to give it to them about commitments increasing?
Yeah, that's right. As commitment increases, attendance will decrease.
And why
If
is
you
that?
take the circles and turn them on the side, it's also like a funnel.
And why is that, Matt?
Soft man.
Well, if I have WWF night with wrestling with the senior pastor, offer free pizza, I'm going to offer hundreds of kids. Well, I usually don't say that, but tons of kids will come out. But if it's
So what's the principle? Without being a smart
well,
aleck.
I can't think of the actual principle.
You can't
I was
think of the
thinking
principle?
I was thinking it would come to me as
The principle is when you strike
ask
up
for more
commitments, you ask for
commitments.
more
Yeah.
commitments, you're going to have less, less attendance. So, Barry, you shouldn't be frustrated or even struggling with the fact that if you're ramping up commitments on Wednesday night, that you're going to have less.
Barry, do you have more really good friends or more acquaintances? And you don't ask that much of your acquaintances, so you have more acquaintances. But good friends, you ask a lot more, so you don't have as many.
less.
So
That's
it's
right. Hey, speaking of good friends, let's just put our hands in and end this podcast, okay?
on the
All right.
cookies.
On the cookies. Thank you,
Biggest
Mr. Curry.
loser type 3.
Gary.
It's on, it's on
And
meeting.
phone call.
All right,
Oh,
and
look,
next
the person.
next one. When are we meeting again? Send your questions into podcast@simplyyouthministry.com.
Hands are sweaty now.
Next Wednesday at 3. Doing the show.
Podcast@simplyyouthministry.com.
That's it. That's us.
Let's get you some toner. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
See you next week.
Thanks,
Bye.
you guys, for all you do.
Banter.